Hey everybody, it's FitAlissa from FitAlissa.com. Change of pace. I am home from work, out of my gym clothes, which most people see me in, and I am prepping my food tonight for the week. And I have decided to help you see how I plan my foods in advance and what I do so that I can help you. It's really easy and takes a little bit of time, but once you're done, you don't have to worry about the rest of the week. And so the first part of my prepping is I make cod. So I take cod and I buy Costco cod, and I cook 2 big bags of Costco cod for the week. And I take my scale and I measure 3-ounce portions. 3 ounces is what I eat for my fitness diet. However, I highly recommend 4 to 6 ounces of protein, if not more. I'm not a nutritionist. Let somebody else tell you. But it's very important that you get a good balance of protein in your diet. It's very important. So for me, I get protein 6 times a day. But for my lunch and for my dinner meal, I get 3 ounces of cod. You could eat chicken. You could eat turkey. You could eat eggs. There's many substitutes for fish. I just personally don't eat meat. I prefer fish and eggs. So this is what I do. I use this tin foil that I also get at Costco. Love Costco. And I take my scale and I measure it. And I put the tin foil on my scale. And I hit 0 on my scale. And I do the ounces, and I take a piece of fish, and I'm pretty good. I get eyeballed it pretty well now, so I have a good idea about what 3 ounces looks like. I weigh 3 ounces on the scale, and I make sure it's 3 ounces, although you don't have to because you're not dieting for a show. I do. So I now have my 3 ounces of measured fish. And this is what 3 ounces of measured fish looks like. So I put it on a scale, and that's what it looks like, 3 ounces. So then what I do is I take my fish, and everybody has a different way of doing it. Some people like to put it in Tupperware. Some people like to put it into a salad. Some people like to merge all their meals together on the go. For me, because I'm always on the go, I'm hardly ever home, it's so much easier for me to tin foil everything. So I do. So I take my fish and I put it in a tin foil and I carry it like this. And then I put it in a sandwich bag. Another thing that I have to tell you I live on, absolutely live on, it's called True Lime. They also make True Lemon Powder, and also they make True Lemon Packets. And I put them on everything. I always put it on my fish. I love my lime packets on my fish every day for lunch and dinner. I have 2 packets on 3-ounce piece of fish, and it just makes it taste so much better. And so I recommend trying that if you want a little bit of more flavor. I also use Mrs. Dash. I am a Mrs. Dash queen. Not only do I use Mrs. Dash, I inundate my fish in Mrs. Dash. I'll show you again. This is how much Mrs. Dash I use on my fish. A lot. But it tastes great. And so I use garlic and herb. I use the original blend. And I use lemon pepper. That is my favorite. I can't eat fish without lemon pepper on it. I like to put garlic powder or onion powder on it, and I sprinkle all of it on together in the oven, and I bake it in my oven for 30 minutes on 450. Well, you may not want that, so try what you feel is best for you as far as taste and how much it's cooked. Some people cook it less. Some people cook it on a lower temperature. I like the way my fish, through trial and error, I've decided 450 for 30 minutes in my oven, and then I let it cool. So that's my prepping for the week. So I take my scale and my tin foil, and I wrap every single piece individually into a bag, and I keep my Ziploc bags handy. And I put all the fish into a tinfoil bag when I'm done, and I label 3-ounce cod weight fish. And as I show you my next step in sweet potatoes, I already have the fish measured and put in the bag. So I will finish showing you how I make sure my food is ready for the week. And hopefully this can give you an idea of how to do it. You want to maybe figure out what works best with your refrigerator. Some people like putting all Tupperware in there. Everybody's different. So try what works best for you. For me, like I said, I just find it so convenient to open up a Ziploc bag, take out a piece of fish, and go. So rather than having to worry about putting it in Tupperware, washing Tupperware, for me the easiest thing on the go is tinfoil and Ziploc bags. So there you go. That's how I start my meal prep for my week with my fish. So good luck preparing, and I will be back with my sweet potatoes. Hey everybody, I just finished making my sweet potatoes for the week, and I will show you how I prep my meals. A lot of people like to cut their sweet potatoes up and put them into Tupperware along with their fish and their broccoli or whatever vegetable they might eat. As I said, I really enjoy using tinfoil because for me it's very convenient. I can take it anywhere. I can throw tinfoil out. I don't have to worry about leaving Tupperware somewhere. I don't have to worry about being exhausted coming home and first cleaning Tupperware or emptying Tupperware from the dishwasher. I do not like Tupperware. Tinfoil and sandwich bags all the way. So that's much me, but almost everybody else I know doesn't do it the way I do. So what I do for myself may not be right for you. I'm just trying to help you with some strategies and some techniques and ways that you can find that works best for you when on the go, when going to work, when out and about, anywhere you go, as long as you know that you can have your meals prepped and take them with you. Use what works best for you. So here we go. These are my sweet potatoes, and I cook enough potatoes for the week and then some. Because I have diabetes, as a fitness competitor, it's very difficult to have glucose in your body when you have low blood sugar. So I always have my glucose next to my bed, in my bag, when I go out for exercise. I never leave home without glucose. Because what I want to tell you is, when your sugar goes below a certain level, it wouldn't matter what you compete in, it wouldn't matter what you're dieting, first priority is to treat your blood sugar. So I use glucose when my blood sugar drops to a certain level. However, when I know that my blood sugar is at a stable level, and I don't want to say what my numbers are because they might be different for you, I know that I pull, as a fitness competitor on a strict diet, I pull one of my complex carbs out of a meal and eat it to treat my blood sugar. So example, if I have to eat at 7 p.m., I get a 4-ounce sweet potato, which is 20 carbs. And I need to put 15 to 20 carbs into my body at 2 p.m. and I've already had my lunch and I've already had my afternoon snack, then I might need to pull a carb from a meal. So I will take a 4-ounce sweet potato and eat that and then just not have a sweet potato with dinner. However, like I said, if my sugar goes down below to a dangerous level, I will take glucose. So I'm not encouraging you to use sweet potatoes or complex carbs to treat your blood sugar. I'm saying use glucose right away, ASAP. Don't even think twice. Always have some kind of glucose with you, next to you at all times. However, because I am competing and I travel with all my meals, I check my blood sugar. I use my Dexcom to see where I'm at, where the arrows are, and I will eat my sweet potato if I know I've caught my blood sugar going low early enough. So here we go. Let me show you what I do. So like I said, I get a 20-ounce carb for my dinner, which is my 5th meal. Typical carbs per meal are 40 to 60 carbs. Most people eat 3 times a day and have 1 or 2 snacks a day. If you don't eat that much, I still recommend you having 40 to 60 carbs a day. And use a calorie counter. Use a nutritionist. Use something that helps you map out based on your body weight, your height, and where you want to be. Use that calorie counting and those carbohydrate counting, not what I'm telling you to do, because I'm not a certified nutritionist and I don't want to give you the wrong advice. I'm just sharing with you what works best for me. So for you who aren't competing, my advice is to have an 8-ounce sweet potato, a 10-ounce sweet potato, or even a 12-ounce sweet potato. It's really just a personal choice. So my sweet potato is 4 ounces and there's 5 carbs per ounce. So what that means is if you wanted a 10-ounce sweet potato, that's 50 carbs. That's a perfect meal. You can have a 6-ounce piece of fish, 5 to 6 ounce, 7-ounce piece of fish. You could have a 10-ounce sweet potato. You could have a salad. You can have steamed vegetables. Really, you have a lot of options. But for me, because I'm in training, my diet is less. It's more strict. So I take my tin foil with my scale, and I set my scale to 0, and I hit ounces, and now I cut my potatoes into 4 ounces. So I'm pretty good at eyeballing a sweet potato, but here's the thing. When you have diabetes, you can't eyeball a sweet potato because a sweet potato has carbs. And carbs without insulin and the right amount will set your blood sugar high. And if you guess your carbs and you give too much insulin, your blood sugar can go low. And the biggest thing we want to avoid as a diabetic is low blood sugar. So my best advice for you is what I do to prevent low blood sugar is I measure and weigh everything. And so this is my 4-ounce sweet potato. So a 4-ounce sweet potato looks like about this much. Like I said, what I'm showing you may look like 4 ounces, but you won't know until you weigh it. So that's what I do for my sweet potatoes. I want to show you something a little bit different because for those who aren't competing, I want you to understand what it's like to have a regular potato. So this is a regular sized potato. And I'm going to weigh this potato for you. And this potato weighs 9.5 ounces. So you can have a 9.5 ounce, or you can pull the stem off, and now without the stem it's 9.4 ounces. So you can take a sweet potato, just a regular sweet potato, baked, however you like to cook it, and measure it. And so basically, if this is 9.4, we'll shave a little bit off the skin and make it go down to 9. So that's 45 carbs. So that's perfect. So you have a great meal. Look at the size of this sweet potato. That is a 9-ounce sweet potato. Very filling with a piece of protein. That's about 6 ounces of protein. And a salad. You will have a healthy meal. You will feel better. You will feel like you want to just get up and go. And that's why I enjoy what I do. I like the fact that I know I'm eating well. I like the fact that I know I'm measuring and weighing my food, and I have consistency in a schedule and my blood sugars. I have an insulin to carb ratio based on every single meal I eat, and I highly recommend that you know what your insulin to carb ratio is and what kind of caloric diet you want to be on. So my advice to you is to balance, use the different food groups, and pick a choice from every food group, a carbohydrate, a protein, a dairy product you can have, a vegetable, or even a fruit. And fruit is a wonderful option as well for a carbohydrate, but it's the same thing. I measure and weigh my fruit. So that's the key that I'm hoping everybody learns from me today, is the key as a diabetic and eating is measure and weigh your food, because that will help keep your blood sugars well regulated. So there you go. Here's my sweet potato. And I was going to show you guys what I do with the fish that I made. So this is my bag of fish, and you can't probably see it, but it says 4-ounce whitefish cod. And what I do is I keep this in my refrigerator every day before I go to work or the gym, wherever I go. I pull out a piece, I put it in a sandwich bag with my two little lime packets. I take it, and notice I keep all my sandwich bags handy. I have my refrigerator, my measuring cups, everything with arm's reach, which is really great because I'm very prepared for everything. So I take my sandwich bag and my fish and my lime packet. I put it in my bag. I take a 4-ounce sweet potato. I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I label my potato. Usually I'd write a 4-ounce sweet potato, but being I know it's the only thing that I have for dinner with my fish, I have that, and I'm going to show you what I eat with my dinner. I just cut up a salad, and so I get to eat a cup, one head of lettuce. One head of lettuce is about 8 ounces. Now, don't quote me on it because I haven't weighed this for you. I don't know what yours will weigh, but for me, I buy a head of lettuce and I weigh it, and usually one head is close to 8 ounces. The one good thing about vegetables are you don't necessarily really have to weigh them, but as a fitness competitor, I have to make sure that my diet is strict. The right amount of carbs, the right amount of calories, and believe it or not, there's no such thing as everything's free. Everything has calories. Everything adds up. So everyone could say, oh, I can have as much salad as I want. Well, that's not true. You can have a nice sized salad, but don't keep eating and eating and eating and eating. So this is a really nice sized salad. This is 1 cup of lettuce, 1 head of lettuce, and I chop it up. I like to put balsamic vinegar in it. I use balsamic vinegar on everything. No sugar, no fat, no calories, no carbs. This, I have found, is the one thing that you can use as much as you want. So I highly recommend red wine vinegar. I think it tastes great. You can add a lime packet to your lettuce, which also really spices up the flavor. Really make it what you want. When you're not dieting like I am, you can even use a light ranch dressing, any kind of dressing. However, I use a measuring spoon to measure it because all dressing has carbs. So a tablespoon of carbs you will see on the dressing bottle. And the easiest way to know how to carb count is by reading the label. And here's a perfect example. Perfect example is I have classic light creamy Caesar dressing. So when I'm not competing, I get a tablespoon or 2 of light ranch dressing. It's considered one of my fats. My favorite fat is my almond, and we'll go into that another time. But 4 carbs for 2 tablespoons. So I measure 2 tablespoons because I need to know 4 carbs are exactly 2 tablespoons because I want my blood sugar well regulated. So that's what I do with a salad. So it's easy. You can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. So then what I do is I actually Tupperware. I don't use sandwich bags for my lettuce because it's almost impossible to eat lettuce from a sandwich bag. So here you go. Tupperware lettuce. I take it with me. So my meal on the go is lettuce, fish, and a sweet potato for dinner. And you can do it with your own sweet potato, lettuce, salad, vegetables, anything you like, and protein. So I hope that's helped you today. That's a little bit about how I prep my meals. And thank you for watching me and following me. And I really hope that I can inspire you to use wise choices for healthy eating and get up and get out there and try to stay fit and do a little bit each day and take one day at a time. If I can do it, you can do it. And I have confidence in you. Thank you.